When you sit in your craft room and you have those beautiful dimensional flowers, sometimes you can kind of feel stuck with not knowing how to put it together in a bouquet or what do I put it in. So today I'm back with a floral shop collection to share some tips and techniques on how you can create beautiful bouquets in vases and urns. To get started, we're going to use a large floral urn, stamp, and die set, plus the fillers that come from the Floral Shop accents and the Floral Shop fillers. We'll take a closer look at those as we go. So to get started, I like to stamp and die cut a lot of these pieces. Some of these were done in black, some of them were done in olive, and some of them were done in lighthouse. So for like these background pieces, we color them in Seafarer. So when you are at home and you're creating with this, all you have to do is just pull out those 3 colors of ink pads. They coordinate beautifully with the paper collection, and just start stamping and coloring those different images in the different colors that you love and that coordinate with those papers. So I just do a very quick coloring, which makes those filler accents really pop very quickly, and you're going to be able to use those. So Lighthouse, Olive, and where's my sponge dauber, and the Seafarer are the main colors that I'm using as fillers for this urn and to make this shaped card. So we'll color in those berries. And the rest of my fillers, the leaves, I like to add a little bit of the lighthouse color in there as well. And the rest of my fillers I have colored, but that's the technique that I used on each one of them. To shape these accents and fillers, I like to use my molding mat and just flip these images upside down and just do really quick, just circular motion with my stylus. You can use the 4mm tip's a great one for these. And then just flip that stamp side up, just press down a little bit on the top. I did snip off one of these so that I can pair this in the back, so I'll just go ahead and give a little bit of a circular motion. And then with this one, since I wanted to kind of do a 2-layer, I'll just go ahead and clip off this bud from the background, and then we can shape this leaf as well, which is really pretty. I love that detail for this one. Then the rest of these, just go ahead, circular motion on the background. The harder you press, the more dimension you're going to achieve. You can even kind of do like a line down the middle for this one. And just flip those stamp side up and just draw a little line down the center. And then for this one, when you're ready to layer this together, all you need to do is just take a little dot of your hot glue, and you'll be able to easily assemble that back together, but it has just a little bit more detail and dimension when you do it this way. And then we're ready to add these to our urn. There are many different ways you can add these accents to this card. So you can do something on like a small card, just doing a partial urn, or you can also do something like this. So you'll want to go ahead, if you want to do the shaped card base with a fold on the top, using the main outline from the large floral urn die. And then you'll also want to stamp this. I like to stamp it on one of the background papers in this collection, and that's what we're going to glue on top. So when you go ahead and glue this, to get started, I like to just glue kind of on the bottom side of this urn so that you have kind of a pocket that's created to add the rest of your items, and you can kind of layer them. Now just keep in mind, anytime you are doing something like this, each bouquet will look a little bit different, so you get to be the master florist. So I do like to make sure that this is really pulled up, and then I'm going to go ahead and just pull this forward a little bit, and we're going to add a little bit of glue back here, and we're going to stuff this. It's just a basic piece of tissue. You might have something like this. It kind of reminds me of like a little bit of a cheesecloth. So something similar to that is kind of a great base. and you could always snip this off on the side, and then you can just start layering it. So we're going to go ahead and do this kind of in two parts, but we'll go ahead and lay this in and kind of have this going off to the side. And if you're not confident gluing right away, what I would suggest doing is lay it in, take a picture of it, and then you can pull it back out and just start adding your pieces. So I'll just kind of do some snipping, and I'll add some glue to the back of these pieces, and we'll just kind of start filling it. But when you are layering something like this, if you kind of just start shaping along the back, and then you can kind of clip and snip and add those pieces as you go. So I'm going to go ahead and add this little fern in the background here. And I'm not super like excited or freaking out about how, oh wait, is this really going to turn out? Because you can kind of maneuver that, and because of that cheesecloth in the background, it really gives you a lot of grace, and you can really just continue adding those pieces together. And don't be afraid to snip pieces apart and really have fun and allow your creativity to just really blossom with this. I'm going to add a little bit more berries right in this section. So we'll just continue this. So if you have like this piece, you'll see I snip a lot of these pieces apart to really get a different look, and it allows me to kind of what I call like manipulate some of those leaves and fillers to look a little bit different and make it look a little bit fuller. And if I find that something is a little bit too full, I can always go back and squish that cheesecloth down a little bit more and really make it do what you want it to. So I see, okay, there's a little spot in here that I want to have kind of filled. So I'm going to snip this one apart, and we'll fill this one. And what I really love about this urn too is you can really do some distressing techniques. So think about like when you go to like those concrete places that have all kinds of urns and things, and you really want to mimic something like that, you could use some distressed crackle paints on top of this to really give it a very distressed look. I'm just going to wrap this around the pot to make it look like it's hanging around the top. So you can start seeing that dimension take place. Now, I am going to put a larger dahlia. If you don't know how to make dahlias, you can refer to some of our other YouTube videos on how to do the dahlias an easy way. But you can go ahead and add one of those over on this side, and that kind of starts to anchor that. I also have a smaller one that I'm going to bring over on this side, and then we can just kind of use that. I'll just kind of let that set, and you can then go back and just kind of continue to fill that in around here to shape that flower pot. So to continue filling this in, you'll want to focus on getting some leaves around the area that's more dimensional. Here you'll see I used the zinnias and put those more in the center and made it more go a little bit higher. So you can do lots of different variations with this, so don't overthink it, just have fun with it. And like I said, if you're not confident gluing it down, lay it in and take a picture, and then you can always go back and just lay those in and follow your picture that you created with that. So I'm cutting some of these leaves apart. So with these fillers, it really makes it pretty magical because you have all these different styles of leaves and shapes. And do you see how that just starts to take a life of its own? It's like, oh wait, like this is super pretty. So I don't consider myself a designer of flower bouquets. So this is something that I found that really helped me feel like, hey, I can do this. And it's largely because of all those little pieces that and accents that are in here. So at the end, I'll show you some more ways that you can use those accent pieces very simply and just very easily. Now, I'm not going to add all these pieces in today. I would just continue to fill these till everything looks really nice and full and shaped up here in the top. But one thing I wanted to point out is these little guys right here are the rose hip stamens. So if you don't have those yet, I'd highly add those to your cart as accent fillers. Say you're doing like kind of like a Christmas bouquet or something, it's a nice accent. So you can just continue finishing that and making that beautiful one-of-a-kind bouquet. With the large floral urn stamp and die set, you get this beautiful urn, this leaf, and these two pieces, and this is the coordinating die that goes with that. So let's take a look at some more ways you can utilize that. So obviously you can do this really beautiful bouquet, or you can really simplify it, use part of the urn on a card. I love how this pairs with the Black Friday gateway dies that we did. Here's one that I really think showcases this urn very beautifully, just cutting a sentiment in the center. You can really get that concrete look by doing some crackle paint on the top, adding some really dimensional flowers, or you could do the same technique and just keep it super simple. And then when you open this up, you have this beautiful gateway piece on the inside. Isn't that stunning? I love how that all turns out, paired with those Black Friday gateway dies. So with this, let's take a look at some more of those stamps and dies. So within this set, you've got the Floral Shop Accents. This one has 6 different background fillers along with the coordinating die. And then we have the Floral Shop Fillers, which has 4 of the larger accent pieces and the coordinating die. So let's take a look at some more of those. So if you're doing a Christmas urn, this is what you would see. You'd use those rose hip stamens, use some poinsettias, use some fillers, and use those little filler pieces in the background, which I love. Here's one where they interlocked it and made it into like a pop-up urn card. I love how that turned out. We had a really a little glimpse of this earlier as well. Here's one using the asters filled with those beautiful fillers to create that stunning bouquet. And then here are some of those fillers just more simply used down here, along with the zinnia. And I love how this comes together. If you're just doing like a simple thank you card, you can background stamp it, and you can also do an outline die with the actual leaf in the background. That was super stunning. And I love how this one just really shows the simplicity of these fillers as well. Super quick, super easy. And then again, those beautiful urns. Here you have it kind of like an antique-ish look with that. And then here we have it just with the fillers in the background. You can see all those berries. You can pop them up, really do some fun things with that. And then I think this just really ties it all together. You have the rose in there and just paired with stamens, beautiful fillers to create that stunning bouquet. I love how this makes a little, kind of like a little basket or a little flower pot that you could put a gift in for Christmas. So you could really use that for some little cute gifts. And then here it is more like a framed wall art piece. So lots of fun ways to use that. So before we go, I wanted to show you just a little snippet of the paper collection. These papers, if you love kind of a blue and burgundy mixture, this is a very different color combination from what we've had in quite a while. And I just love these. And I know I personally will be using this one a lot. So make sure, I would put a couple in your cart when you're picking these up, because you'll be using this color combination so much with this collection. Using these tips and techniques will allow you to create those beautiful one-of-a-kind bouquets. Have fun using these with different color combinations for all seasons and all occasions. If you don't have the Floral Shop collection yet, I have added the links below for quick and easy ordering. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to your YouTube channel yet, get subscribed today so you don't miss out on my next video. We'll see you next time. Bye.